A major warning from a crypto market maker. Liquidity problems along with capital. We'll get into it. We're also going to talk about some big news for the Xlm Stellar ecosystem. Major growth. We'll talk price action as well. Players out there are saying, yo, we got extra money. Should we put it in BTC? The alts are real estate. We'll talk about a big bank going into crypto, XRP price action, along with
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
And just like that, the odds took a crap and the shutdown, extended. Look at this. The biggest portion of money right now is after November 16th. And look at the uptick. By the way, November 16th is in orange. Look at the uptick from just the 4th to now. We went from 30% chance of getting it done November 16th to what, everyone? 55+% chance. And remember, there was a big push between the 8th and the 11th, which is this blue right here. And then what happened? Well, all of a sudden, now the Republicans can't agree on how long to do the funding for. Continuing resolution, my ass. Y'all ain't continuing to do shit. Fire them all. Vote them all out. That's my suggestion. Oh, and because of that, it's putting red up on the screen. The hell did I wear a green shirt for? Now, you know the deal. We're going to do your comments. Why? Well, because my wife's not home, so I got to do something. CD Love says, thanks, Klaus, for all the 100% truth. What do you think about iTrust Capital for storage of crypto? Look, it's not about iTrust. It's not about any specific player. The thing is, you got to be able to trust these people because storage for crypto is a big deal. We see hack schemes and shit like that all the time. There has been billions and billions, tens of billions of dollars of crypto stolen. So the thing is, do we really know how strong iTrust Capital storage is of crypto? Do we really know how good Coinbase storage is? What about Ripple storage of crypto? Unless you're like an insane coder and you get to peel back the curtain and look at how they do shit, we got to trust these companies. And I think that's where a lot of money is sitting on the sidelines because they're scared. By the way, we're going to talk a lot about money in crypto drying up. Right now, recycled liquidity. Baba Ganoush, love the name, my guy, says, I feel that what makes the Xrp community look bad is the Ripple employees who pay these charlatans to push the hopium that Xrp is going to 10K, 10,000. So waiting for my 10,000, man. Yeah, I know. Here's the deal. There's a lot of hopium out there. And it sets unrealistic expectations. I remember when they were like, oh, all the money in the world peer-to-peer is going to move on the Stellar chain. That's not true, and it's never been true, but that was a narrative that was pushed. I also remember the narrative about Aqua. Aqua's going to revolutionize Stellar. Have you looked at the price of that? Yeah, that's bad, girlfriend. So a lot of the shit, a lot of the problems is the hopium. Now, who's paying these influencers to do this? Well, maybe we should find that out too. By the way, you notice that I don't take any sponsors from these companies. No, I tell you, good, bad, happy, or sad. Thank you. Alan McMaster's hanging out with us. A little Florida love, my guy. Says, glad you're getting back into the exercising again. I did. I ran like over 5 miles yesterday, technically 5.5, and I ran like another 4.5 today. Just some easy miles of hills, baby. I'm starting to feel better. Says, don't overdo it, brother. Appreciate the updates as always. Yeah, I'm still not feeling 100%. And when I start pushing it, I start feeling sick really quick again. So, yeah, I ain't out of the woods yet. Heat map, oh shit, it's painful. It's red. I love redheads, but I don't love red crypto prices all the time. I love them every once in a while where we could buy the dipperoni, but I also like the green, so I could also flipperoni some of that action. Bitcoin, scary times. We again get to that 100,000 and go below and stay below for a little bit. It's going to freak out the entire market. The last time BTC dumped below 100,000 was a couple days ago, and we saw it rebound back. But again, if we have this thing where we go under and stay, fuck, man. Bitcoin, 101,516. ETH is 33.29. ETH pumps and dumps. I might get a big portion of money into ETH for a short-term play here. I'm really thinking about it. Not hodling that shit, but playing it till it gets to over 4,000 again. XRP 221, while BNB's at 948, Sol's at 157. ADA, no love to be found at 52 cents. Xlm, no, not all the money in the world is being run on it. It's at 26 cents. Ooh, outflows, yes. Not good. Alt season, no. BTC season. Crypto market warning, here you go, I got it for you. Crypto market runs on recycled liquidity, Wintermute warns. The market makers data shows the sector expansion since 2024. ETFs and digital asset treasury holdings grew from 40 billion to 270 billion. Holy shit, that's big. But Well, we'll get into it. While stablecoin issuance doubled to roughly 290 billion. Growth momentum faded, though, leaving the markets in a self-funded phase. The firm clarified that the tighter monetary policy isn't responsible as aggregate money supply stayed supportive and central banks began easing after 2 years of rate hikes. Liquidity allocation rather than availability creates the problem. Elevated short-term rates and high secured overnight financing rate pushed investors towards T-bills over crypto. Again, going to somewhere safe versus somewhere risky. Trading volumes have stayed healthy while growth stagnated as capital rotated between cryptocurrencies without fresh ecosystem inflows. Essentially this, what they're saying is players went from one hot thing to the next. And as soon as that one hot thing was over, like ETH, that money then rotated somewhere else. That's what I've been telling you. It's been pumps and dumps, that you're not seeing the entire crypto market elevate. No, you're seeing one thing be hot for a little bit and then something else get pushed away. ICP is starting to run up 31% now. So you see money's going to flow into there and people are going to chase it. Filecoin up 32% in the last 24 hours. So you can see money is rotating, and that's exactly what Mintermute is saying. Current volatility stems from liquidation cascades rather than sustained buying. Revival in any major liquidity channel could signal macro capital returning to crypto assets. I agree. New ETFs, renewed stablecoin minting, or increased digital asset treasury issuance might trigger the next liquidity wave. Totally true. I think the ETFs could totally free up a liquidity wave, but you would have a bigger liquidity wave if we got the regs to come in with it. Because I got to ask you right now, there are players out there that are sitting on a lot of money and they're like, oh shit, so the government shutdown is happening, so we're not going to get crypto weights for a while. All right, let's put this into like some treasuries. Let's put this into some securities. Let's put this into something else, something that's not as risky until we think that the regs are going to happen. That's happening a lot. In fact, it's happening so much that Robinhood is having the same problem, but we'll get to that soon. Circle weighs in on the Genius Act implementation, a simple, strong rules. Seriously, just get some regs in the books for the alts. It's not going to be perfect, but just like everything else in life, if you start with something and you build from there, good to go. When's the best time to invest? Yesterday. When's the second best time? Today, right? You just keep growing and you keep stacking. Continuous improvement is better than delayed perfection. That's what Circle is saying. In comments submitted on Tuesday as part of their Treasury's notice of proposed rulemaking for the Genius, Circle is one of many crypto companies that weighed in on how the government should implement the law while establishing a framework for payment stablecoins. They say bank, non-bank, domestic, and foreign issuers should follow the same rules to protect consumers from bearing the risks of any regulatory shortcuts. Clear requirements for accessing U.S. markets and shared supervision with trusted foreign regimes promote competition while preventing offshore arbitrage. And that's a big one. That's how Sam Bankman-Fried made his money, with crypto arbitrage. Yeah, he would buy crypto super cheap in one market, take it to another market where he was able to play the difference and made shit tons of money doing that. And they're like, look, we don't want capital just to bounce from place to place to place. Very much like Wintermute gave us the warning on. They're like, no, we want capital to stay and to grow and to foster and to... You get what I'm saying. Now, Jamie Dimon says JP Morgan might build a stablecoin with their banks. This dude's a douchebag. Let me just read you his quotes. Remember, he's the same guy that said Bitcoin's a piece of crap. He's also the same person that said it's like a pet rock. Jamie Dimon, CEO of JP Morgan Chase, admitted he doesn't know how stablecoins will play out, but instead of ignoring them, the bank is actively experimenting and may build one with other banks. And oh, don't forget, we've got stellar ecosystem news, and we're going to talk Xrp Xlm price action coming up soon. Stablecoin was one where I don't know how it's going to go to play out. What do we know about it? We're involved. We're building a stablecoin. We may build it with other banks. Any of these tools that you want to use for smart contracts, we're simply going to do. I don't know how it's going to sort out, but I'd rather be playing, which keeps us smart, than acting like I know the answer to it. I always say, are you doing everything you need to do to win the future period? And I don't care what the budget says. Sometimes, regardless of what I think about it, I want you to be dabbling in it because you're being smart is much more important than saying Jamie doesn't know or doesn't like it. Basically, what Jamie Dimon is saying, he's not a big fan of crypto, but if it makes his bank money, he's going to do it. See, it's all about players making money. Now, Robinhood's got a lot of money, okay? And this is what I think a lot of companies are. I'm actually having this problem right now. I put cash to the side. Remember, I put cash to the side for the Circle IPO, and I didn't get it. I still have a good chunk of that left where I'm like, okay, where should I put it? But unless the government gives us signals, I'm either waiting for another dipperoni like I told you about, or I'm going to diversify it somewhere else and just wait. I'm looking at ETH a lot, though, just for a short-term play. Seriously, I'm looking at a position where I get in super cheap on ETH, wait to get that bitch up above 4, and then dump the shit out of it again. Robinhood is doing this. We like being aligned with the community. Crypto is a big part of our business, and our customers are deeply engaged in it. The question we keep asking ourselves is whether it's the right move for shareholders as well. Basically, should Robinhood use their extra capital to start a BTC treasury, or are there better places for them to put their money? Is this the best use of our capital, Verma said? There's a lot of different things going on, you know, from new products, growth, investing in engineering, and the AI boom. A lot of companies right now are like, yo, should we get into the AI boom? Because that right now is where all the big money is going. And I think the short answer is we're still thinking about it. There are pros and cons to both, and it's one that we're going to keep actively looking at it. Publicly traded companies hold roughly 1 million BTC in total, with Strategy having about 60% of that. So what's interesting is a lot of these companies have gotten into BTC and digital asset treasuries, DATs, but a lot of companies are staying away because they just don't know. Remember, Microsoft voted no. Their shareholders voted no to the BTC one. Yeah. XLM network growth shows promising, Stellar XLM network growth shows promising quarter 3 2025 growth in developers and smart contracts. Listen to these stats, okay? 700% quarterly increase in smart contract invocations highlights the network's expanding utility for developers and businesses. Good for the ecosystem. 37% growth in full-time developers underscores Stellar's appeal to the blockchain community. Again, great for the ecosystem, great for Stellar as a company. 5.4 billion in real-world assets and volume per Stellar Development Foundation demonstrates growing institutional interest. Again, great for the ecosystem, great for Stellar as a company, going to other companies saying, hey, look at all the people that are tokenized with this. Don't you want to tokenize with this? And then these companies pay Stellar a lot of money, and that's how that goes. Is it good for the price, though? And the reality is no. No, this chart doesn't show you 700% quarterly increase in smart contracts or 37% growth or 5.4 billion in real world assets volume. No, this chart doesn't tell you that at all. What this chart tells you is that XLM pumped big time in November when we got a pro-crypto president, pro-crypto Senate and Congress, is so we thought. We've been lied to because we sure as fuck haven't gotten the regs yet. We also haven't audited Fort Knox, and I'm still waiting for the fucking Epstein files. Haven't gotten any of that shit. So again, XLM's biggest pump, regs, right? A pro-crypto government that was promising regs. Then it all started eroding, right? It was pumperoni and dumperoni. Just like Wintermute was saying about capital rotating. It's not staying in one place. It's going from one hot thing to the next. Kind of like how now ICP is the hot thing, up 30%. Filecoin up 30%. Money is rotating. And when was the second biggest pump for XLM? Crypto Week. When the bigs out there, those politicians were talking about regs. Yeah. So look at that. The two biggest pumps ever for XLM have been in regards to regs. So yes, it's good for the ecosystem, good for Stellar that all this stuff is happening. But for the native token holder, it's all about regs, isn't it? I mean, look at the chart. You can't tell me that it's anything other than that. In fact, the shitty part is, for everyone that's been holding XLM long, the price that we're at right now brings us all the way back to January of 2022. So for the people that bought in the 2020 through 2022 bull run pumperoni action, like, they're not making money because look, there was a lot of dormant time in between. Now XRP is feeling some short-term pressure right here, down almost 5% in the last 24 hours, 7%, almost 8% in the last week. Yes, we rebounded from the lows, but look what happened, right? We started running up based on optimism. Check it out. Okay, see this? See, this is how going into the fourth, right? This is going from the fifth into the fourth. That was the same time that optimism was happening right here, that the shutdown was going to be ending. And then all of a sudden the fifth happens, and look, right? That's when the odds started going bad for a later resolution. As you can see, XRP's price is following right now the optimism or pessimism, depending on how you want to look at it, for the government shutdown being over. So now as the odds for a longer shutdown have increased, XRP's price has decreased. Why? Because again, what's some of the biggest things right now for crypto? Are we going to get regs? So as you can see, the biggest thing for markets is reg erroneous right now, because that tells all these companies out there, hey, you don't have to just go to BTC for your strategic reserve, your digital asset treasury, your DAT. Sounds kind of weird. You could go with the alts, but they're like, we need the regs first in order to do that. And that's why you're seeing a lack of actual usage and a lack of sustained price action regarding altcoins. Now, Wintermute has one of the best points out there. It's what I've been telling you for years in crypto. Capital rotates from one thing to the next. Remember when all of a sudden the AI tokens were hot? Remember FET, the digital, the AI alliance thing? Yeah. And then it started going quiet. ICP pumped to like 20 bucks and then it went quiet. ICP starting to move again. Filecoin did a big run, then it went quiet. ETH did a big run, and then they all do that. And what Wintermute and what I've been saying is exactly that. The market, until we get regs, is not going to be stable. It's going to be players jumping from one hot thing to the next. Now, granted, I do that myself, okay? I have my long-term bags, which I don't touch. But I also play short-term market stuff. I played the ETH pump a few times now. I even did videos about it. What was it, like a year and a half ago, where I was like, I'm going to play ETH and I'm going to fucking totally pound this thing. And a lot of people made fun of me. Not making fun of me when I'm making 30-something% gains while the rest of the market is jerking itself off. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? So, I play it this way. Long-term bags stay here. Short-term money goes where the action is hot. I'll take my 10, 15, 20, 30% for a couple weeks of work. Yeah, I will. Because ask the long-term holders how they've been doing with XLM. Not the best. What about ICP long-term holders? A lot of them have gotten washed or in the negative right now. So you have to be very, very careful out there, because not every crypto is doing a nice steady move on the way up. The majority of them, the overwhelming majority, is pumping and dumping. And the thing that we've noticed is the faster something pumps up, the faster homegirl falls down. So choo-choo what? Well, you ask me, vote all these fuckers out. I don't care if you're Republican. I don't care if you're Democrat. And Lindsey Graham, you suck massive balls. You're a warmonger, and to be honest with you, you haven't done shit for the state of South Carolina. So I hope that guy that's challenging you on the Republican ticket beats your ass. In fact, I'm going to encourage everyone to vote for that person rather than you, Lindsey Graham, because you haven't done shit for us, period. And that's the deal with all these politicians. What have they really done? Obamacare promised lower insurance rates. Insurance is super expensive. Anyone out there got health insurance? Yeah, you pretty much all frickin' do. It goes up every year, doesn't it? And your coverage goes down, right? That was a Democratic-based thing. What about all the promises that the Republican made? Oh, Bitcoin treasury. Oh, what about all the tax-free crypto stuff? Oh, what about all the benefits for US-based crypto companies? Oh, what about all the audits? What about JFK? Nothing, right? So here we are, Democrats and Republicans not working together, hence why the prices are down. And we're stuck just what? Hanging out. But my job is bringing you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. So, XRP $10,000 by Friday? Fuck no, girlfriend. But I bet you there's people on Twitter saying that stupid shit. You should call them out, because it's hurting the community. Choo-choo what? It's a train coming to run you over, politicians. Because you ain't doing shit right, and we're going to vote all you fuckers out. Choo-choo bitches.